Chelsea's 2012 Champions League winning side. Where are they now? Petr Cech. By the time the 2012 Champions League final rolled around, Petr Cech had experienced enough European disappointment to last a lifetime. Thankfully for him, he finally got his hands on the cup, saving former teammate Arjen Robben's extra time penalty along the way. 3 years later, he was packing his bags for the other side of London, where he has never been further from winning the Premier League. BOSINGWA, the man who made it his personal ambition to make himself the centre of attention when it was time for photographs. He wouldn't mind, but it wasn't even the first time he'd won the damn competition. It would prove to be the Portuguese's last game for the club, signing for QPR in the summer. He would subsequently turn in 23 wretched performances, have a giggle at their relegation, before getting flogged to Trabzonspor the following summer. David Luiz. 5 years ago, David Luiz was a walking joke in football. When PSG parted with £50 million for the error-strewn centre-half in 2014, the Chelsea fans were rolling in the aisles. They'd finally wiped the tears out of their eyes when the Blues returned £34 million to the Parisians last summer in exchange for the Brazilian. On his way to winning his first Premier League title, Luiz has looked composed and assured at the heart of Chelsea's defence. Nobody's laughing now, except when they look at his haircut. Gary Cahill. Career moves don't come much better than when Gary Cahill left the relegation-bound Bolton Wanderers in January 2012 to pick up both FA Cup and Champions League medals by the end of the season. Now club and country vice-captain, he looks to be the natural heir to John Terry and is set to win his second Premier League title in his sixth season at Stamford Bridge. Ashley Cole. When Ashley Cole lost the 2006 Champions League final with Arsenal, who could have predicted that his next visit to the final would have been with Chelsea? Well, probably everyone, since it was common knowledge that he'd been tapped up all year. He left Chelsea after 8 years in 2014, signing for Roma, where he never quite fit in. Now at 36 years old, he's in the retirement village that is the MLS with LA Galaxy. Frank Lampard. Frank Lampard was approaching the end of his Chelsea career when he lifted the Champions League, but the following season he became the club's all-time top scorer before departing in the summer of 2014 for New York City. To be fair, he did say he couldn't ever play for another English club after Chelsea. I guess Man City don't count then. Swansea City offered him a contract in February 2017, but he decided that retirement sounded like a better idea. Can't say I blame him. John Obi Mikel. John Obi Mikel spent 11 years at Stamford Bridge. Considering the fuss that went into signing him, including an alleged kidnapping, it was just as well. Too bad he only got on the score sheet once. In January 2017, he signed for Chinese side Tianjin Teda on a free transfer, where he gets to play with compatriot and former West Brom hotshot Brown Day. Ryan Bertrand. One of the forgotten stars of Munich, Ryan Bertrand took in 9 separate loan spells during his time at Chelsea before finally giving up in 2015 when signing for Southampton on a permanent deal. Since then, he hasn't looked back and has firmly established himself as one of the top left backs in the league. Juan Mata. A fan favourite at Stamford Bridge, it looked like Juan Mata would carve out a long and distinguished career in West London. He lasted just 18 more months, however, with Jose Mourinho effectively banishing him to Manchester United. Chelsea fans were understandably disappointed and got their own back by doing the same thing to Mourinho 2 years later. Salomon Kalou. Salomon Kalou played over 250 games for Chelsea. Winning the Champions League was his final action. He was farmed out to Lille that summer, taking the place of Eden Hazard, who travelled in the opposite direction. No prizes for guessing who got the better deal there. 2 years later, he signed for Hertha Berlin, where he scored 25 goals in 70 appearances. Didier Drogba. The king of Stamford Bridge, bound for Shanghai Shenhua at the end of the season, Didier Drogba's last act in a Chelsea shirt was to sink that winning penalty. He did return, however, for a second spell 2 years later, after taking in a spell with Roberto Mancini's Galatasaray, following his failed stint in China. After lifting another Premier League and a League Cup at Stamford Bridge, he left for the MLS, where he spent the last 2 seasons at first Montreal Impact and then Phoenix Rising, where he is also the first player owner in football history. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe.